The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome as we start today's edition of the the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping, watch me go to black real quick. Here's hoping that all is well with you and your world. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend a little time with you roughly some 24 hours ago. Told you. Did you see it just now? Fade to black. You're still the man, brother. You are still the man. And he's probably in the truck going, and don't you ever forget it either. We start today's show with an announcement and an observation. In the worldwide fight against COVID-19, particularly here in this country, there's been a lot of consternation, debate, arguments over the best way to treat COVID-19. Of course, Big Pharma, federal government, others, all pushing the COVID-19 vaccines as the way to fight the virus. In recent memory, we've heard hydroxychloroquine, we've heard ivermectin, and most recently gaining a lot more steam now, monoclonal antibody infusions. It was announced this week that the Baton Rouge General will soon be opening a facility for just that. Trey Nelson with the Baton Rouge General saying, quote, monoclonal antibody infusions is a process where you come in and you receive an IV infusion that puts the actual antibodies in your system. After, it takes about 30 to 50 minutes for that process to take place. You receive a 1 hour waiting and observation period. And then he goes on to say, the antibodies then go into your system and look for the spike protein that hangs off the coronavirus. And it attaches itself to the spike protein on the coronavirus and helps nullify the virus so that it doesn't actually get into your cells and has less of a chance of making you sick. More and more individuals around the country are embracing the concept. And of course, one of the things that is most disturbing about how our country has dealt with COVID-19 are the politics that's involved with this. You can say what you will, but the majority of people in this country, I would have to imagine, believe politics has permeated every single thing that we do these days. And sadly, and maybe, now that I think about it, particularly when it comes to health care, there are more politics involved than maybe any other time in our lives as Americans. I mean, Affordable Care Act, Medicare for all, vaccine mandates, not laws, mind you, mandates. It's more political now than ever. And of course, recently, President Joe Biden coming out saying that his patience is wearing thin with folks that won't get the COVID-19 vaccine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And as a result now, more and more individuals are looking at things like monoclonal infusion therapy. I found it interesting this week that the president announced in, wait for the buzzword, the interest of equity. They were going to be distributing less monoclonal Regeneron infusion therapy doses to certain states, states that many are at the top of the list as far as the highest number of infections. I know that they didn't think this thing all the way through. And that's no earth-shaking revelation for you, because when you do things with a political end in mind, very seldom, if ever, do you think something all the way through, particularly with an eye on benefits. You look with a jaundiced eye. You're looking for what will benefit my cause, my individual, my party the most. It's interesting that of the states where the most Regeneron was being used, all of them except for one had a Republican governor. Now, for the record, maybe that is purely coincidental. It's just happenstance. It worked out that way. However, as an American and a man of color, it is particularly interesting, telling, ironic, that the states where the Biden White House now says we can't send as many doses to them as we were sending because we want to be equitable in the distribution. The states that they're talking about make up the largest percentage of African Americans in the entire country. So let me get this straight. You will be shifting resources away from the states that have the highest incidences of the virus in an effort to be equitable. And in the meantime, the particular ethnic group most adversely affected, and, by the way, the least likely to accept the COVID-19 vaccine, it's more black people than anybody else. And these are the people, the very same ones, that will tell you over and over and over, day after day after day after day, It's those evil conservatives that you got to keep your eye on. They don't think this stuff all the way through. But then again, now that I think about it, maybe they do. They thought it all the way through. And at the end of that mental exercise, they came to the conclusion they're too dumb to figure it out, so let's go full speed ahead. Now, you will never, ever in life hear me claim to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. I'm just a regular guy, blessed by God to have some wonderful parents and more than a modicum of common sense. If they were to ask me, which they never will because I don't, number one, I'm not their primary demographic. Joe Biden already told me I'm not black because I don't vote Democrat, so, I don't fall into that category. But if by chance they were to ask me, I would say, well, after looking at this thing, for whatever reason, Tuskegee experiments, black folks are really hesitant about getting the shot. They've got a history to look at, and they just don't trust you. Not to mention the fact that today you'll come out and say one thing, tomorrow you come out and say something the exact opposite, and then the day after that you revamp it again. But I digress. If they were to ask me, I would say, well, since black folks don't want the shot, don't trust the shot, we need to offer them more than anybody monoclonal IV infusions. Within 10 days of showing symptoms, you get the infusion, you get actual antibodies, not this mRNA crap. I would imagine black folk, not being as stupid as you like to think they are, might be more inclined to be treated that way. But as we all know, they're Democrats, and they have nothing but the best interest of black people at heart. Ha! Yeah, you believe that? I've got a gorgeous 16-room mountaintop beachfront chalet in Bunkie, Louisiana, that I'll let you have real cheap. You've been there? Yeah. You want to put in a bid? All right.
Free fishing.
Highest bid, you can walk away today and go skiing tonight. With the cool front coming through, probably going to get some snow up in Bunkie. There you go. First break of today's show. I know that for a lot of people watching right now, many of you subscribe to polls to try and find out what your fellow Americans think, those of your political persuasion, those of the opposite side. Got some interesting ones I want to share with you when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Sit tight.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345. 4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, it has become a part of our jargon, the American landscape, and everyday life. It is, for many people, a driving force on what side of the aisle they will reside on any particular issue. Love them or hate them, believe them or disbelieve them. My late father, God bless him, taught his children early in life. Everybody has something to offer. Sometimes you got to dig a lot deeper to find it with some individuals versus others, but everybody has something to offer. You've heard, I'm sure, the analysis, rationale, if you will, that, well, you can make a poll, say pretty much whatever you want to say, particularly if you know how to ask a question. Now, I will be the first to admit, it's probably above my pay grade to be able to quantify that train of thought one way or the other. That's out of my wheelhouse. I understand. Stay in your lane, bro. I get it. Okay? So I am probably not the best qualified to quantify that one way or another. But I do know, thanks to my late father, if you delve into things deep enough, you'll find the answers to a lot of things, and many times they have absolutely nothing to do with the issue at hand. For example, recent Fox News poll released last Sunday, and it reads as the headline, only 49% of registered voters think President Joe Biden has enough mental soundness to serve as president. Now, you're probably saying, okay, how did they phrase the question? Well, I'm glad you asked. The question read, do you think Joe Biden has the mental soundness to serve effectively as president or not? 49% said yes, 48% said no. When they were asked weeks before, 49% said yes, only 45% said no. So that's a 3 percentage point swing over a matter of weeks. Say what you will about polls, but I have a hard time, a really, really, really hard time, believing after what we've witnessed for the last, 8 months, that 49% of my fellow Americans are of the opinion Joe Biden's all there. That says more to me about the intelligence, the powers of observation, and maybe more important, the influence of the media than anything else. How in God's name, with the issues that have beset this country over the last 8 months, COVID, Afghanistan, southern border, inflation, crime, how anybody in their right mind, much less 1 percentage point shy of half of my fellow Americans, think this guy is all there. On any particular issue, he won't take questions. On any particular issue, when speaking, the White House will, on its own, cut the live feed so you can't hear what he's saying. And after 8 months of this, to tell me 1 percentage point shy of half of my fellow Americans think this man is mentally sound is absolutely frightening. Now again, I will leave to you to determine, because I can hear you through the TV. My conservative brethren are saying, well, they went to Congress. That's the only people they polled. Had to be. How else do you come up with 49% of our fellow Americans saying that the elevator goes all the way to the top floor in Joe Biden's case? They had to have gone to the House. The margin is too slim in the Senate, so they probably only polled people in Congress. It is a sad commentary, y'all, that in this country, we now have an individual that on any given day cannot be trusted to answer random questions. We have an individual in charge of the country, allegedly, that on any given day, on any given topic, may blurt out the most nonsensical gibberish you've ever heard. And yet, according to this poll, 49% of our fellow Americans are of the opinion, oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with Joe. He's sound. Frightening. And what may be scarier still is the number of individuals, most of whom y'all voted for, that will formulate policy based on this. For example, we saw in our country over the summer and for months now this movement to defund the police. Started particularly up around Minneapolis with the George Floyd murder and spread like wildfire. And of course, if you worship at the altar of CNN, NBC, ABC, my favorite, CBS, CNN LOL, or MSLSD, you would be of the opinion that black folks, particularly with our history of negative interaction with law enforcement, we would be all on board for the defund the police. And you would be as wrong as two left shoes. Recent poll out of Minneapolis showed 75% of people that look like me, black folks, said not just no, but oh hell no. If anything, we want more police. Because at the end of the day, that's the community that is most adversely affected by crime. And as a result, good or bad, right or wrong, negative interactions or otherwise, we need them in our communities more than any others. But it's the folks you vote for. You know the ones that can smell racism from 50 miles away. You know the ones that can feel racism when it walks in the room. You know the ones that are looking out for your best interest. These are the ones that will try to sell you this crap, hoping and probably thinking all along that you're too stupid to read between the lines. Of course, now, in no way, shape, or form is this the first time they've played you like this. And as the harbinger of bad news on occasion, it is my responsibility to inform you it ain't gonna be the last. Such is the nature of the beast and what we have become in this country. But there's good news here, y'all. They can only pull this kind of crap and get away with it if you allow it. It can only happen if you make the conscious decision to remain politically stunted in your growth. This can only succeed if you decide you are going to remain ignorant of the world and the country around you. Ask yourself the next time, because it ain't going away anytime soon. Ask yourself the next time the border crisis explodes, crime continues to rise, inflation has you cussing under your breath standing in the checkout line at Walmart, because this was only $3.29 last week, it's $4.75 this week. What the hell's going on? Ask yourself, when the media gets off its lazy behind and starts to question, about those Americans that were left in Afghanistan. Y'all thought we had forgotten about that one, right? Ask yourself the next time, why doesn't the leader of the free freaking world stand his narrow behind up there and talk to the American people about this? Well, wait. Let me rephrase that. Talk with us. He's real good at talking to us. Or he'll show up, read a script, and I can say this because I have one, turn his narrow behind to the reporters and the camera and walk off. But he won't sit there and answer questions. Because he'll tell you in a heartbeat, just ask him. He'll tell you, matter of fact, you don't even have to ask Joe Biden. He will voluntarily tell you, well, I'm going to take questions. I ain't supposed to, because I'll get in trouble. That's the real question. With whom? And if you're going to get in trouble for answering questions, I got to think the people that took your advice in formulating this policy have got to be utter idiots. If I can't trust you to answer questions from the staff, I'll be damned if I'm going to put you in charge of the staff. Just saying. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break before I get in trouble. We'll get this out of the way, come back and soldier on. Today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Say throw it. You finally got to see Marty. Well, at least his back. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. You know, as a God-fearing, flag-waving, NASCAR-loving Black American, and as a member of the human species, it's troubling on one hand to watch what is going on around the globe related to COVID. But it is also refreshing and a restoration of faith in our species. Over the course of the last year and a half, we have witnessed, not just in this country, but around the globe, individuals giving up rights, freedoms, liberties in a fashion and with a speed like we've never seen in our existence on this planet. One of the things that has infatuated me over time with the human experience is how we react to certain things. If you live long enough and you are blessed to acquire wisdom, not knowledge, wisdom, because there is a distinct difference between the two, you come to realize there are certain idiosyncrasies of the human existence that they're just marvelous. For example, one, language. Part of the human experience that has always fascinated me is that you can take something as small as a single sentence, comprised of only a handful of words, and make an impact that will reverberate around the world. For example, 80 and boom. I have a dream. Boom. On the other side of that coin, the most transparent administration in history. But that's more of an experience thing than it is an utterance. But I digress. I saw just last night. Have you all been keeping up with how countries around the world have approached the citizenry? We've approached a tipping point with the tyranny behind COVID. Folks are taking to the streets by the tens of thousands. Australia, yesterday, Melbourne shut down. 20,000 folks taken to the streets, stopping construction, stopping transportation, overrunning police, the whole nine. They've been doing it in Europe for weeks now, but the mainstream media doesn't want you to see all of the civil unrest over COVID lockdowns, vaccine passports, and all of the other insanity. But I saw a guy write something last night, a single sentence, that really struck me. And it is particularly applicable for those of us that are freedom-loving Americans, as we have watched this headlong embrace of socialism in our country. The guy wrote, and I'll paraphrase it for you. When it comes to communism, socialism, fascism, you can vote your way in, but you're going to have to shoot your way out. Did you get that? When it comes to socialism, communism, fascism, you can vote your way in, but you're going to have to shoot your way out. Listen, my late father, God bless him, spent 27 years in service to this country, ready at a moment's notice, at the drop of a hat, to go anywhere on the planet to defend our rights, our freedoms, and our liberties if Uncle Sam called. So I am one that understands full well, as much as many, more so than many others, what is involved when you start talking armed conflict. At some point in most people's lives, the specter of armed conflict becomes a reality. And for most people, particularly those of us that categorize ourselves as peaceful individuals, for most of us, it's the last thing we want to see because we cherish life and we don't want to see anyone lose that precious gift. But there is another idiosyncrasy in the human experience, and we've seen it over and over and over again. It's this: you can push people, push them, push them, push them. You can back them into a corner, push them, push them, push them. But at some point, they're going to push back. And when they do, I don't need to finish that statement, do I? You know, I have adopted a practice in life. When I'm standing there in the checkout line and I pay for my purchase and the cashier gives me too much change back, I'll count it and I'll immediately go, excuse me, young lady, young man, this is yours. You gave me too much change. And they'll kind of be taken aback sometimes, and they will say, are you sure? I say, yes, ma'am. You gave me $1 too much. And they inevitably will say, oh, well, that was awfully nice of you. And I tell them, I learned early in life, if I cheat you, somebody else is going to cheat me. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes back on the back end, it's a whole lot worse than it was on the front end. See, if I know when you put that money in my hand, you gave me $1 too much, and I keep my mouth shut, it's not going to be long before somebody's going to get me for $5. It's always worse when it comes back around. And rest assured, y'all, there is more credence than I can tell you to the old adage, what goes around comes around. It pains me to say it, but then again, we were admonished early in this country's history that the tree of liberty, the thing, the tree of liberty must be refreshed periodically with the blood of tyrants and patriots. So while I dread the idea of it happening, as a freedom-loving, God-fearing, flag-waving, NASCAR-loving American, I have to understand that the founding fathers knew a long time ago what could happen and what needs to be put in place to be sure that it doesn't. We are very rapidly approaching a tipping point on this planet, y'all. People have had enough. Now, they have shown in no uncertain terms, and I'm no Pollyanna, I get it. Those in charge, I am the least likely individual for you to listen to. I get it. You care less about me than a hill of beans. I understand. But when it happens, you will have nobody to blame but your little old lonesome. You can push and push and push and push. But rest assured, y'all, at some point, people are going to push back. And when they do, in the vernacular of the streets, it ain't gonna be pretty. None of us relish the idea. But you know what we relish even less? Tyrants and the loss of liberties and freedoms. I don't know if you've heard it before. I don't know if you'll ever hear it again. But the elites consider yourselves warned. Just saying. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. We record the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. If you've not been by just yet, you're truly missing a treat. Come on by and meet some great people, get some great food. And speaking of great people, in the last commercial break, had the opportunity to meet a guy celebrating his birthday today. My man, Brandon Gatlin, in the house, big fan of the show, came up and exchanged some pleasantries just now. Brandon, love you much, brother. Happy birthday to you. Thank the missus for letting you get out and spend a little time with your boy today. I appreciate that sincerely, my friend. As a member of media, I understand full well how the, quote, news cycle works. You've heard me say this before. We as Americans have arrived at a point in time where we have the attention span of a gnat. You ever have a gnat in the kitchen? And just observe the next time you get one before you smash him. If you watch him, a gnat will flitter around and land on something. A few seconds later, flitting around and landing on something else. A few seconds later, flit around and land on something else. That's how we've become as Americans. And sadly, the media, understanding this, knows how to play that hand. Meaning, if there's something going on that they know goes against their narrative, at the earliest opportunity, oh, look over here, look what's happening over here. Oh, never mind about this important thing over here. Forget about that. Look over here. They've become masters at it. And of course, we as Americans, we follow right along with them. The problem with that approach is that typically it's real Americans that get the short end of the stick. For example, the media now has everybody's attention focused on the southern border. What's the young lady's name? I'm having a brain lock. Gabby Petito. Not that it's not a horrible scenario, because it goes against the natural order of this existence for a parent to ever have to bury a child. We all know that. But here's my point. All of a sudden now, nobody's giving a second thought. No media outlet, mainstream, is saying anything at all about our fellow Americans who are still hostages in Afghanistan. You do realize these are our fellow countrymen still there. And yet, Joe Biden yesterday, addressing the UN, and I'll paraphrase because time is short. Marty, could you tilt that for me just a little bit, please, sir? You are a gentleman and a scholar, despite what they say about you. I don't agree with them. That's just what they say. Speaking to the UN yesterday, Joe Biden said, well, I come to you for the first time in 20 years. The United States is not involved in a war. And, of course, we are now focusing all of our energy and all of our effort on looking ahead, not looking at the past. As in the people you left behind not so many days ago. And yet, the media, the responsible individuals, the loving, caring people that they are, you don't hear a peep out of them. You know, if I were the leader of some foreign country, amongst all of the leaders of the world at the UN General Assembly this week, and an issue arose before the end of the General Assembly, and Joe Biden or one of his representatives were to approach me and say, well, you know, we're going We might need your help on this. And can we count on your help? You know, we're all going to be in this together, and I pledge my unwavering, undying support. Can we count on you? You have no idea how much it pains me to say this, because it's my country we're talking about. But if I were the leader of another country, I would have to pause before I answered. There was a time in this country, y'all, where if America simply picked up the phone, it was a done deal. There was a time when, hey man, I got the call from America. You can take that to the bank, hoss. Not anymore. When you abandon your own people, how in God's name do you think other people are going to come to bat for you? And yet, it is the most transparent administration in history. And yet, this guy, if you believe the numbers, got more votes than any president in history. Clarence doing stand-up, y'all. Well, actually, sit-down comedy. Really? Really? Hopefully, sooner rather than later, y'all gonna wake up. Now, I wouldn't bet on it because I'm not a betting man, but when 49% of y'all say, well, yeah, he's mentally stable, I don't have a whole lot of faith on where we go from here, y'all. Still an American, still bleed red, white, and blue. But I got to be honest with you, looking at recent developments, I fear for the soul of my country, y'all. I truly do. It pains me to say it, but if nothing else, one thing I will give you my solemn pledge on. I'll never tell you what to think, but I'll be damned if I won't make you think. End of discussion. Which is why you hear me say every day, right about this time of the day, you know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's still the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, it really doesn't matter because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.